The Eurovision Song Contest. It's a state of play. It's a state of play. Get all the updates. Join the conversation with Alesia Michelle. Starting now. Oh my goodness. Hello, folks, and welcome to our pre-rehearsal Eurovision 2025 State of Play. I'm your host, Alesia Michelle, and I am broadcasting live from the Washington, D.C. area. Washington, D.C., is that in the United States? Yes, it is. And if this is your first time being here watching this video, hey, this is your opportunity to like this video and to subscribe. I have so much content coming for you. And yes, if you're watching this on the replay, this is live. This is a live conversation. And so there's already a couple of folks here. Okay, hey, Augusto. Gospel and rehearsals begin tomorrow. I am nervous. Only shade drops. Good morning, afternoon, night, depending on where you are in the globe. Everyone, yes, this is like probably one of the more important state of plays that we're doing this year because this is like our last time to be delusional, folks. This is our last time to be delusional. And as always, I like to start these off a little bit and cover some news, of course, because we got to get into our state of play. And so, some people ask me, like, where do you get your Eurovision news? Well, other than Eurovision.tv, obviously, I love Eurovision World. Eurovision World is like, just shout out. I think I shouted them out last year. It's like probably my favorite Eurovision site because it is such like a hub and resource for so much stuff. They've got interviews with the artists. They're scouring the media, even the local news sources, translating and putting them all kind of in one place and getting all these sound bites that are like notable. They've got the odds there. I mean, they've got polls. It's so much stuff there. So shout out to Eurovision World. Well, hold on. Hello. We got to do a little bit of our piece. Okay. Aaron, hello from Ireland. Okay. We got some folks from Serbia. Okay. Love from Portsmouth. Thank you. Oh my gosh. We got folks from Latvia. And then, of course, Virginia Vision. Good morning from the DMV because it is morning. Norway, Dublin, Australia. Oh my goodness. Glasgow. Okay, y'all. We're tuning in. We're getting locked in because this week is going to be big. So Napa was quoted. They're talking about their song and saying the staging will translate the message of the song. Now, I don't always like to play around in dark horse territory because sometimes I think it's like dark horse to win, dark horse to qualify. Like we have to quantify these things. And let's be real, thanks to the odds and social media and whatnot, dark horse to win is a harder kind of metric, I think, to pick out. Maybe this year, but then, at the end of this, if it's Austria and Sweden, in the freeze frame, I would even argue if it's, Finland showing up, if it's Malta. I mean, because these songs have sort of had buzz throughout the year that wouldn't really be that surprising. So just throwing that out there. But going back with the Portugal of it all, I actually think Portugal is a dark horse to qualify. I think because we didn't get one of the big favorites or one of the songs that was like mostly talked about to possibly represent Portugal, that I think people just are kind of writing it off a little bit. And I don't know if people should do that because sonically, the song is quality. Portugal has been staging really well. I don't think we're going to get any bum notes from this. They even have some friends in the semi. So, I don't think that Portugal is the one to really, really write off so quickly. Das Mystery Man says, would love Portugal to qualify. Black Bean Pace says, I have also been having this feeling that Portugal can sneak through. Jeff is saying Napa is potentially giving Love is on My Side pathway. Here's the thing. That year, 2021, I said Portugal was going to qualify. I was kind of clocking for them to make it. I was like, And I think I was saying some of the same things. I think it's going to be staged well. I really actually think this song could stand out sonically in the journey of the other songs that we have. I don't think the running order is that bad for it. So we'll see. We'll see ultimately. Um, on the other hand, we've got Mariana from Malta. Her big quote was, "You're in for a good show." Well, I hope we're in for a good show that feels tasteful because I actually think Malta could contend for the win. I really, really do. I think Malta, if the staging is good, if we're getting what we got at the national selection, no, it'll be fun. It should finish top 10, but we don't have to be clocking for it for a win. But if that stage show is really, finessed and optimized, I think we could be contending for the win. Okay, and then the next one that I want to highlight because some people are calling me out on this, or I shouldn't say calling me out per se, but a lot of people are like, well, I don't think Ireland's going to make it. And in my prediction video, I said, I'm going to let Ireland go if the stage show is giving late, late, dink, dink stage. I'm willing to let it go. And what Emmy has been quoted as saying is, I want to keep the heart of the Eurosong performance. Girl, why? Girl, why? We don't have to. We do not have to. We could leave that on the late late stage, right where it is. And then we can fortify a new heart for the Eurovision performance. I don't know. I don't know. Um Here we go. So back to Portugal. Okay says, I've just recently started loving Portugal. Liam says, nah, Portugal is DOA for me. What do we have? Gospodin says, I also believe Malta could be a shock winner. Would it be that shocking though? The song has a lot of hype. The song has a lot of hype. Uh, double says if Portugal qualifies, then who not qualifies? Whose place gets taken? San Marino or Cyprus safe? I'm saying whose place possibly gets taken is San Marino. I think San Marino's kind of on the fence-ish. I've been saying if Theo is not giving us a proficient vocal, he can forget about it. And I think a lot of y'all think that Iceland is qualifying. I do not. I don't. Um, I am Stevan. I did consider Malta for a top five, but no, the jury might not appreciate it. I am Stevan. We've been long in these streets. I think people are forgetting the juries tend to like what Malta gives, as long as it feels like a slick show, as long as the vocal is proficient, and as long as the studio cut is solid. And I think they're doing all those things this year. Just saying that. At ESC lore, Portugal will definitely have some votes from Belgium because the lead singer is in love with a Belgium girl, and the father of that girl is well known in Belgium. Okay, is this some IG love? Is this like an Instagram romance that is happening? I don't know. Some of y'all love a love story. Just saying. Virginia Vision says Ireland's borderline. I think we've known Ireland would be borderline for some time, but I do think the song still has pop to it. But I do think the competition became a little bit trickier for it to make it. Um, and then Seth says, I'm afraid Emmy doesn't have the charisma to sell it. To me, this is about the staging because even when an artist doesn't have charisma, I'm just going to say it, Oakman, you could do other things to optimize. Oakman was a vocalist, but he wasn't this like showman performer guy. Like he wasn't really selling it to us other than, with the vocal. And so what we did was do a nice stage show around it to sort of pad maybe a little bit of that awkwardness, or kind of just like, hey, I'm just a singer. I'm gonna focus on singing. Y'all do the show around me. Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Um, um, Alon says, I love the R&B vibes from serving. Do re mi fa sa sa serving. Okay, sorry. Um, um, Mihailo, I'm trying, y'all. I truly think Malta will serve us the vocals. Well, yes, 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 yes. Um, Uh, DJ Sherbert says, my big fear is Latvia ain't making it. Look, we're going to manifest, y'all. The candles are lit. The crystals are laid out. Some of y'all, like now I know some of y'all don't actually watch the videos all the way through. I know I'd be doing long ones, but honestly, I did my semi-final predictions very, very short. I did. Intentionally. I was like, let's just get this out of the way, y'all. Let's get this out of the way. We can have the conversations in the comments. Okay. Um, um, okay, we got more people. I pray they can make it. Latvia, okay? ESC Dakota, Latvia is making it, y'all. The stats are on their side and the staging will be incredible. I mean, I really am living in a world that, like, maybe where we lose it, like, Ireland's just fully out and then Latvia's in. Also, did y'all see the visuals for Prince? Mm, um, I think the visuals are a deep choice. Like if I'm being completely real, I think the visual that they gave us, and I think what they're trying to do is go for something a little bit more modern. I think I think Serbia thinks that that's what's gonna seal the deal, but I don't know, y'all. The visual did not make me feel confident. The visual actually, like, here's the thing. If Serbia wants to make it, I think the thing that was giving them some buzz was that fact that it was almost feeling a little bit yesteryear. That it was like, hey, this is like what a lot of people, like a lot of people's like first Eurovision memories. I know there's like a lot of young people now where they're going to remember like that Balkan ballad like in the 2000s. And I actually didn't mind the staging at Pisa for this. I do actually think Serbia tends to stage ballads really, really thoughtfully. But with them deciding to go with this more modern motif and almost kind of like contemporary, like art feel, I don't know, y'all. And the reason why I say I don't know, y'all, is because I think Czechia is going to do it better. I think Austria is already the competition and like is solidly gonna do better. I think people are still gonna have in their minds whatever the hell Cyprus is doing. Norway, we've been told, is, you know, kind of mixing things up there too. I just think you want to try and figure out like your niche and kind of get into it. So I don't know. Let me hop into the comments. Adam is saying Serbia is going to pick up all the wine moms, though they're qualifying. No, y'all keep forgetting I'm a wine mom. My mom's a wine mom. We're not voting for this. We're not voting for this. And if you're wondering where the wine moms are going, Armenia. Armenia. The wine moms are not that big of a voting block, though. Like, you have to recognize that. Because here's the thing. The wine moms, yeah, the wine moms, it's not that big of a voting block. And we got other stuff. I'm just giving you the reality. We got other stuff. Um, Denny says, can you imagine that in just 2 weeks we will be discussing the final time flies and we'll be preparing for post Eurovision depression? I don't know if I'm going to have post Eurovision depression this year. I have a wedding to plan, so that's what I'm thinking. Um, ESC Dakota, Serbia is giving Azerbaijan last year. Like it's pretty, but nobody cares, baby. Okay. Ed, Serbia's visuals are not giving story. This is what I'm kind of getting at. I'm like, if you kind of kept that idea of Mila, like this like longing, if you did that, you could pick up some wine moms, I think, from that. But if you're going to go like modern and just be kind of like putting yourself basically in like really the boy male fronted power ballad, almost even like if you're just putting yourself in this demographic that you actually didn't need to occupy because you didn't actually occupy that bucket, but now we're just doing it. I'm Steven. Serbia should have leaned into the telenovela of it, not trying to bring it into 2030. I agree. That was my thinking. I was like, ooh, I don't think you want to play in this sauce. But we'll see. We'll see. Um, okay says, yeah, I miss my Balkan ballads. You see, Serbia, there are people, there's a market for it. Like, Just do that. But it's too late now. It's too late now. It's too late now. Mate says Montenegro is in, but y'all aren't ready for this discussion. Here's the thing I'd actually say Montenegro, I think, is playing to the wine moms more. And I know everyone just thinks wine moms means like, okay, good looking guy performing. It doesn't. Like, I think message song, wine moms, perfect example of a wine mom entry. I am what I am. My mom loved that song. For what? I was like, Verna. She was like, but I like it. I like what she's saying. Last year, why moms? You know what? One of my mom's like favorite songs last year? Liar, liar, liar. Cause she was like, oh, I like that. I like the message. And she's dancing and selling it. Okay? Why moms is not just the male fronted songs, but but message songs do tend to dip in a little bit. I'm not saying the why moms ain't got it at all, but Um, um, yeah, so we'll see. Ooh, so many comments. Okay. Mihailo, I'm from Serbia. Nobody will watch because we don't care about him. See, that's the other thing too. The diaspora, everyone's saying, oh, but the diaspora and the Serbs. I was like, yeah, but the Serbs aren't fired up about this one. Okay, sorry. Hi there. Hi there. Okay, ESC mood. Why mom's voting for catharsis? I mean, I'm voting for catharsis. Easy. Um, Gosfoden said, why moms let Iceland be last? But remember, but the why mom, that wasn't our song last year, though. That wasn't our song. I think some of y'all are a little young. I think y'all don't really know the demographic. I think we're freezing it in time. I don't know. I don't know. But Hepelo, you're great. Why moms may be pro? Yes. Dobre Cecil. Okay. Yeah, I mean, my mom, like Montenegro was one of the songs. If you watched her reaction, that was actually the reaction she said the most about. Like most of the, and just so people know, the way I edit, I'll cut out the kind of blank spots a little bit, unless it's like she's really like kind of listening and engaging with it. Like if she's just sitting there, like I'm just going to cut it out for time and copyright purposes. So some people were like, well, why was this snippet like so short and this one like wasn't? I was like, she didn't really say a lot with them, but the song she said probably the most with was Montenegro's entry. I've been telling y'all from the beginning, like the song is not bad. That is an entry that I don't always love it when people do the whole, oh, if so and so is sending this, you would be rating it. But like, I'm gonna be real, y'all. I think if a lot of other songs were sending exactly that with exactly that vocal, people would feel it. People would be talking about it differently, and that's a really unfortunate. That's a really unfortunate thing. Um, Yeah. Oh, Jeff says wine moms in the girly pop block will vote for Parg over Prince. Let's be for real. See, y'all are okay. Y'all are doing this. Okay. Mihalo, I think wine moms votes will go to Gojo. They do love some spice. I do agree with that too. And he's a charismatic, good looking guy. My mom told you everybody loves milkshakes. Um, Slim, why moms are meant to come out last year for my girl Hera Bjork last year and failed. Um, ESC Dakota. Also, y'all know Miss Nina is a wine mom. So not only are there tons of men for them to oogle, but also some solidarity maybe. Hepelo says, imagine if we get a Mila remix with a dance break. Well, they already revamped it. Yeah. Um, ESC mood. I love that we're just having like this moment for the wine moms. Wine moms voting for catharsis because they're gonna remind them of their kids. Really though? Are the kids doing this? I don't know. Who is kind of giving well, Germany's giving the youths this year. It's ba la 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 la. Just saying. Um Fernando wine mom entry is France. Yeah, funny thing, and people talking about a diaspora, but remember, Serbia's just been scraping through the past couple of years. Well, yeah, the past couple of years. Last year, scraped through to make it through. Luke Black scraped through to make it through. And both of those entries were, I think, way more competitive and had way more hype around them. You know, yeah, yeah. Just saying, just saying. Um, okay. Athena, Cyprus will do really well. I have a feeling. Um, Liam, do we think there's any path for Georgia to qualify? I don't. I don't. I don't. Cool guy, where can we see your mom's reaction? Here on YouTube. Go to the video section. It's there. Jackie boy, Portugal are gonna shock people so much this year. I'd love to see it. The streets aren't indicating it, but I'd love to see it. Athena, my hot take is that Australia will flop. Here's the thing. I don't think that that's a hot take at all because I think we were all tracking at the beginning like, ooh, this might struggle. We've got a lot of potpourri in the semi already. We've already got like some fun in the semi. Will it struggle? But here's the thing. I think the song is good. I think it's like a really solid studio cut. Welcome to my it's one of the songs. It's one of the songs. Um okay. ESC Dakota, Cyprus is gonna have that backing track. Cranked. Gospel and Alesia, if they somehow announce Croatia as a qualifier, who do you think could miss out? Oh well, let's talk about it. Um, I don't think this is gonna happen. But if they do, who's missing out? Oh, Belgium, right? If Croatia makes it, then we're going, oh, so people pick this one. Because if we're doing demographically, then it's like, oh, people pick this one. Or maybe even Cyprus. I think Belgium more so loses out maybe than Cyprus. But, I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen. Um, okay. Da 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 da. Virginia Vision. I aspire to have the confidence some of y'all have when making bold predictions. Look, this is our last time to be delusional, y'all. We've got to own this. This is our last moment for the delusion. And I just want to note, if you want to join the stream, you can. It's like funny, the first year I was like doing it, everyone was like hopping in. And now everyone is like camera shy. Everyone's camera shy now. I gotta be up here barefaced with gloss. But y'all camera shy. Come on now. Come on now. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. We have community over here. We keep it real. And I think we keep it respectful too. I love this. I think like we can all disagree and it's like not that deep. We don't be tussling in the comments over here. Just saying. Cause I will delete you. I will. Cause we gotta keep it respectful, y'all. This is so fun. Okay. Um, I'm Stevan says Croatia's probably finishing with 12 points overall from Slovenia. Tom Yam, I heard that Portugal really wanted to convey the message on the stage. Yep, we said that at the beginning. So I hope they give a very intimate performance like Matos. That could help. That could help. I just think we've got a lot of bombast, and I think people thinking all the bombast is making it is confident. I'm not living in that world. Sebas, let's be Delulu. Estonia is not qualifying, y'all. Now we can be delusional. We can be delusional. But the best way to be delusional is to also follow up with the realistic. So then we don't get too crazy down the pipeline. So let me just say, Estonia is making it, y'all. We just got to prepare ourselves. It's happening. If it didn't make it, would I miss it? No. But I really, really want them to just, because this is the thing, I actually want Estonia to like win Eurovision soon. And I feel like Estilau is one of my favorite national selections. I tend to have a lot of songs on the playlist from Estilau. And so I don't want them to be like discouraged because I do feel like they've got a really good music scene. I just really was disappointed by the live performance with which we were served at Estilau. It felt lazy. I'm just going to name it. It just felt a little bit like, oh, we could have done so much more here. I even would have, and I'm fine with irreverence. Like intentional laziness. Because y'all know I love a lazy choreo moment too. Maruv. Bum, bum, bum. Kind of like lighters because we can't really talk about her no more. Um, DJ Sherbert, we need to be having a hallucination. Can we talk about Denmark? Can we talk about Denmark? Because, like, I'm still in a place where I'm like, I'm not going to fight for it. I have to be realistic. Um, yeah, like I'm not gonna fight for it. You with me? Like you hear what I'm saying? Um, but I love the vocal, and if they really do start from scratch on the staging, like you feel me? Like if it's gonna be something like really really thoughtful, then I'm like, okay, we could give it to him. But I am like, at what cost? Because if Denmark makes it in and I lose Latvia, I don't know how I feel about that. Bittersweet. It's bittersweet. Um, okay, here we go. Delusion. Okay, old pretentious. My delusion. Netherlands will be taking the trophy. Austria's song is too soon after Nemo, and people will be bitter about Sweden taking yet another trophy. So you're thinking like the midway. I think France has more of an opportunity for this scenario than the Netherlands. Like I do think France has a little bit more of a chance for that. But I'm not surprised, so I don't want to say this in a way like, "Oh, I'm so surprised." But I am, so I'm not going to say surprised. I am like annoyed a little bit at the Eurovision bubble that is somehow playing the Netherlands this year. For what? What did Claude do to you? What did Claude do to you? The song is good. Every single live performance we've seen of it is good. Like, the Netherlands does have budget, so it's not going to be like a penny's performance. So, like, what is it? What is it? The song is good. Stop. I mean, like, and we know juries are going to appreciate it. I mean, come on. Come on, right? Right? So I think France has more of an opportunity, though, to do what this comment is suggesting. Just throwing it out there. Eurovision, Chris, my delusion is Slovenia is qualifying. Iceland is qualifying. Cyprus is qualifying. Lithuania is not qualifying. Australia, borderline, not my preferences, just wild predictions. Here's the thing. Slovenia has always had a shot to qualify. And I'm not saying that because I want it. I'm saying that because y'all love a message song. Y'all love it. Y'all love it. Okay? My stance has been very clear. Here's the thing though. It's a message song that's delivered very well. You cannot deny. The vocal is flawless. Apparently he will be upside down. So visually it's arresting. I mean, if Europe doesn't want to be sad, which I don't really think Europe wants to be sad. I don't. Um then, I could see them being like, look, this is the year that we just want to have fun. Okay? Bista bada bastu bastu. Like I get it, but I do think Slovenia has more of a shot than people are clocking for it. And again, I'm not saying that because I want it. Iceland qualifying, I think we all watch. This is where my struggle is with Iceland. How can people be saying it was one of the weakest national selections, but then turn around and be like fighting for it to make it through? I, I just find that confusing. That's just me. Like, how can you say that it was like an assortment of really weak songs, but now that we're like getting ready for the big show, you're like, ooh, I need this in my final. I'm like, over Portugal? Like, really? No. Like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, over some like songs that are gonna be like executed to perfection and are like amazing studio cuts. I don't know. Like, I'm like, okay, okay. Um, Edo. Hey Alicia, what do you think about Finland falling to seventh in the odds? The disrespect for my girl Erica is crazy. Misogyny strikes again. I'm gonna leave it at that. Um, Wagner, I can imagine the Madeira Island projection on the floor for Portugal Island. Okay. Um, Dorothy, I really hope Latvia gets to the final. Brado, do you think France will do English subtitles through the whole performance to convey the message, or will it take away from the intimacy? I don't think that subtitles take away from the intimacy. As someone who, hello, I've graduated to watching movies with the captions on. I don't find captions distracting at all. I always find them helpful. So I don't actually think it would be distracting. As someone who is like I understand French. I don't want to say like I'm like a French speaker because I get deeply nervous to speak it, but I understand it for the most part and can watch movies and obviously like songs. Um, I think it would help because although I said I don't think Europe wants to be sad, I feel like this song isn't so much sad as it is like reflecting on the past and then seeing like the hope in it of like, hey, like this was a really sad thing that I experienced and like now I'm here. Whereas I feel like how much time do we have left together is like more like I don't always feel the hopefulness in it. Like even though it's there, I see Maman as a little bit more hopeful. So I actually think it's not a bad idea to include the subtitles. Yeah. Um DJ Sherbert, Alicia, one thought on Albania. How high on the leaderboard does it finish? If all is right with the world top five, but I'm living in a Trump presidency, so I know all is not right with the world. Uh, Meh says, I'm scared that Sweden's going to host again next year. I don't know what to do to comfort you because it could happen. It could just happen. Um, Alon, is San Marino going to reveal their faces at the big show? I've not heard anything about this. People in the comments, like, let me know what you think. I live in a camp that if they don't show their faces, they can keep their faces in the semifinal. You know what I mean? I still really want that song in the final though. But I'm willing to let it go. Um ooh, 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 ooh. Um a cool guy hot take ballads will be the dark horses this year. Yes, I think Georgia will qualify. Okay, yeah, I'm loving the delusion. I don't think Georgia's gonna make it. I think Montenegro has more of a shot than Georgia. But I don't know. I don't know. And also too, here's the challenge though. Georgia's already in a semi with ballads, and I think ballads that have more hype and are better. Greece, Greece, Austria, low key. Even though they're going at the end. That's my way of describing the techno break in Austria. Mate, I want Estonia to win, but Tommy should stay in the semi for the sake of ESC's health. Um, what do we have? Um, ooh, ooh, ooh. Eurovision, Chris, my delusion for the final is an Albania top three. Look, if all is right with the world, if all is right with the world. Aaron, also another delusion, Greece may not qualify. It's not a delusion because we're worried for the staging. Greece does have to stage this thoughtfully. They have to. They have no choice. They have to. But my delusional thinking, and I shared this in my prediction video, is like, even if we look at the staging and we're kind of like, wish it was something else, I think Greece maybe does still make it. That's my delusion. Um, so yeah, okay. John says I heard not 100% sure, but I heard that Albania's staging is really good. With Beatrice part being more fire vibes and Cole with a dark staging and fire only at the end because of budget. But the word on the street is that there's no fire. I think that this is like a rumor. I don't like I'm like, I really would love confirmation. When they did the stage reveal, because we did see like the little stage reveal, I thought we were going to see, there have been years where they've done it where they've kind of showed all the aspects of it, where it's like, oh, when we had the water, like it was like the close up of the water, when it was like the green room and, showing all the plants and stuff like that. So I almost wanted to see like the stage and then like, okay, what does our like champagne curtain look like? Like what does the fire coming out of the stage look like? And I don't think we quite got that. So it's a mystery. We won't know. Um, Jeff, Denmark's song is so generic, but the vocals just make me want to root for their qualification. Same, same. And then Augusto here, Denmark allows me to have room to be Delulu, but Sissel is queen. Oh, I'm like, there's so many comments. I'm so behind. I'm sorry, y'all. Um, uh, Ekrim, if it were your choice, Sweden or Austria? Well, honestly, probably, this is hard. If I was just thinking song and performance wise, I might give the edge to Austria. But if we're talking about holistic and the fact that I want to go to Eurovision next year, Sweden, because we'll be in Stockholm. So, yeah. Um, yeah. Okay. I'm like, the comments, I'm like, okay, hold on. I'm gonna have to reset, y'all. I'm resetting the comments. Okay. Um, so we got some people answering. So Colm says Austria. Tank the player says Sweden. Um, I'm Stevan says, would Sweden host in 2026? They absolutely would. Um, Liam, where's your dream host city? Um, I well, Prague would be great. I would love Prague. Greece, Athens, getting to go back there. Malta. I will say I have a preference to people who have not won before. So edge to those. I'll say edge to those. Sean Shanzers, do you think Finland could pull off a compromise win, like third in the juries and televote and win all overall? Yes, I've been saying that. I think the whole time. I've been saying that the whole time. Um, okay, thinks that we'll be in Gothenburg. No, we won't. Did you not learn last year? We won't. We'll be in Stockholm. And the only options are Stockholm and Malmo, and Malmo's not even going to put in a bid. So, uh, yeah. I mean, or if they did put in a bid, it would be largely performative. Do you think Czechia has a chance to win? Not this year, but Czechia needs to win soon. Aaron saying I'm fighting in the streets for Denmark. Okay. Brado, I think people are really underestimating France's televote potential. I agree with you. I think France is giving expectancy. So I actually think France could do fairly well in the televote overall. Um, so yeah. Um, Augusto, I wouldn't mind a win from Sweden, Austria, Finland, or France. And I think for the 70th edition, the grandeur of such a statement fits Sweden or France. Sorry. Um, cool guy says, I'd love a non previous country winning. I mean, yeah, it. I don't think we're gonna get that this year. I wish. I wish. Yeah, I just wish that we as a fandom could be more united and not so divided and just decide that we want to do this for Albania. I just wish. Just go like we're gonna do it for Albania. Do it for Albania. Do it for Albania. Do it for Albania. Yeah, like could we just oh, ooh. Um only shade drops. What do you think about the decision to only show three pictures from the first rehearsals? So for people who have been long time in these streets following me, when they started like doing the first rehearsals like closed, so that was like Turin, and I was in Turin, and there were people like sitting in hotel rooms streaming, and I told these people to their faces, I was like, good on you, because it can't be me. I am not going to sit in a hotel room waiting for like critiquing a little mini photo, a little like 13-second clip. Like, I'm just, because, and honestly, for me personally, if I'm giving y'all my opinion, because I really do pride myself on trying to be like objective and just actually critiquing what I heard and what I saw, I feel like that ruins my credibility in doing so. Because if I'm only looking at like 1 minute of something and then I'm sharing my thoughts on it and then we see it live, I'm like, oh, like I was kind of wrong. Like, I don't really like that. Um, I also will say that I was sort of like, if they wanted us to talk about, and this is like 2022, I was like, if they wanted us to talk about, we would be seeing it. So clearly they don't want us to talk about it. So I was like, I'm going to enjoy myself in Turin and share with my audience the experiences there. I think Turin, especially for like Americans, is not necessarily like a place that a lot of Americans travel to. So I was like, I'm going to go on these tours. I'm going to showcase the host city. Like I'm going to bump into some of these performers on the street. Like I felt like that was a good way to share a little of like another aspect of the Eurovision Song Contest because we know it's about the host country too. So that was the choice that I made as a creator. So this year, showing three pictures, I'm not talking about it. Like maybe I'll like write a tweet or like post on Blue Sky and say like, "Ooh, like this outfit looks good." I might do like a styling video because off pictures I could do styling. But to decide like qualification off of that, no, baby, we're not doing that over here, over here. But I tell people like hats off if y'all want to try and make content off of the rehearsals. I'm like, I just like, it's like describe this lip gloss. It's like, okay, it's pink. I can't even smell it. So yeah, I'm just looking at it. It's like it seems to be watermelon flavored. Like, is that even interesting? Y'all want to watch that? I don't. So just just saying. Sorry. Dr. Ross. So this is a nice tie, and thank you, Dr. Ross. Which rehearsal are you looking forward to? Well, kind of none of them because we're not really going to see anything. I'm looking forward to the show. So kind of none of them. You know what I mean? Like to be fair. Saracen, styling wise, what trends do you want to see for this year, and which one do you don't? I I don't want head to toe bodysuits on any of my girls. I think gowns are back. I think separates are back. I think we just need to have items that don't feel off rack. The bodysuits I just think are played. The Mugler knockoffs, I've talked ad nauseum about that. But I will say I'm a sucker for glitter. I'm a sucker for sparkle. I think that there's what I'd like to see a little bit of is like mixing some like sparkles, but then kind of like these brocades. I want to see like some basque waist. Google it. I'd love to see that. I think it's just such a flattering cut on the right shapes. Like it's such a flattering cut. And then I think like hair and makeup wise, I'm not a fan of the makeup that is making our folks look a little bit harsh. Like, I want highlights, I want glowy makeup, dewy faces, like faces with a little bit of shine, almost like there's a little bit of wetness to it. Yeah, and then with my dudes, I don't want the Herman Munster boots. I'm sorry, I can't do it with the Herman Munster shoes. But I am into like, I'd say but I do like a boot, not the Herman Munster boots. You know what I'm saying? The singular thing. But I don't mind my dudes in a little boot with a lift. Just saying. Let's be as long as the dudes are not giving us the black t-shirts and the black slacks. God, that was such a dark era at Eurovision, right? It was just like so the dudes are just showing up in H&M. I don't want Fruit of the Loom on the stage. I want it to feel custom. I want it to pop. Um, um, Jeff, no shade to Sweden this year because kudos to them for sending something truly different, but I'm getting tired of the quirky white man entries. Okay. Liam, what's the best result that the UK can get this year? Seventh, eighth, but it might not happen. It might not happen. Um, Calm. My delusion is that the jury will go for Denmark if it qualifies. I don't think it'd be blanked, but I think if Denmark makes, I don't know, but it depends upon the staging. I think if Denmark makes it though, highest it's coming is like 15, 16 if it makes it. Um Yesterday Claudia teased in an interview that her dress will work like a projector, like depicting graphics on it. And she also mentioned it's going to be really emotional. Well, I like that. That sounds promising. I'm actually cool with that. Khan, you must have gotten here late. My biggest delusion is that Malta could win because I think Malta could win. Gosford and 70th edition would fit Finland hosting, to be honest. Yes, because we got like a little Lordy anniversary. Well, anniversary of them like hosting before, and my Finland being technically my gateway to Eurovision with Lordy. Some folks know that, some folks don't. Saracen, France last year is the only country that got points from every single country in the televote. Mm. But you know, the man was giving it to us. He was giving it to us. Okay. Mate, Adonis would bring it home. Come on now. But I just don't think it's going to happen for Czechia this year. Like being realistic, but I would love to see it happen. John, also, who do you think will get 0 points this year? Shouldn't be, well, I don't know. Hard to say because I actually think it's going to be something qualifying from the semis, possibly. Is that crazy to say? That's crazy to say, but I think it's possible. Yeah, I think it's possible. Um, Black Bean Paste, do you think Poland can win the televote? They placed way high with much less. Not winning the televote this year. No, 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 no. uh, Jeff, Albania deserves the split screen. Gospodin said the broadcasters might still provide us some clips the rehearsals. I'm not reacting to clips. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Um, Gospodin, Sweden is doing this year what Moldova has always done. True that. True that. Um, Jeff, I keep pulling up Jeff's comments. Sorry, y'all. If you think about it, I think Bada Bada Bastu is weaker than Cha 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 and Rim Tim Tagadim. So why should we reward Sweden with the win this year? Sweden deserves top 10, but I don't know if it needs to win. I kind of tend to disagree with you with this because Cha 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 and Rim Tim Tagadim Dim Dim were not giving us a vocal performance, and Bada Bada Bastu actually is. Like, they're singing. They're singers. So I disagree. Yeah. um, what else do we have? Um, Black Birdie, how many performers do we predict will be flying around? Well, I'll tell you, Justina needs to be flying. She did a quote where she said I wanted to fly and they said that I couldn't, but then there was like a report saying that the performers could fly. So if other people are allowed to fly and then I watch Poland's performance and she's not flying, I'm going to be upset about it. I'm going to just say that. But Melody's flying, right? Melody's going to do all the things. If there's fire, she going to do it. If there's a costume change, she going to do it. I mean, you know, I'm just saying. It's true. It's true. It's true. Um, um, Leo says, yeah, let's talk about Ishba la 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 la. Honestly, we've talked about it a lot over here. I don't want to play favorites. I don't want to play favorites right now. As a Portuguese with faith, should I let go of hope? Not yet. Not yet. We're going to talk again, like next week, I think. Or are we talking next week? We're going to talk again. I wouldn't lose faith yet. Don't. Don't. You gotta have faith, faith, faith. Dr. Ross, do you think we'll see a nail biting result or a runaway winner? I don't know. We might be in the season of runaway winners. We might be. I think the jury should be more split than what they've been in recent years. So at least there's that. And that might add some intrigue. That might add some intrigue. So I'm curious about that. Um uh um ooh, ooh. Oh, Seth says as long as Melody does the hair tornado, I'll be happy. I mean, girl, just go off. Just go off. ESC Dakota, I already did. I already did. Where are you? Adam Lund says they can fly with the safety harness, but Justina doesn't want it. Oh, okay, maybe that was the thing. Justina, girl, put that safety harness on and get up in that sky and fly. Come on. We want you flying, girl. We want you flying. Um, Alexandra, Alicia, biggest growers at the moment. I don't have any growers this year. I really don't. The closest thing to a grower would have been like Ireland because I wasn't really checking for like a party at all, and like it definitely is one of my most played songs this year. But yeah. Um, Frederick, and am I weird to find Georgia's song quite good? Actually, not competitive, but good. You could think the song is good all day. I think it will be delivered well on the stage. I don't think it's qualifying though. I don't think it is. Um, David, what are your expectations for Lucio? Not top 10. Teens maybe. Because I just think the jury's not going to be like clocking for it in my mind. I just think the jury's not going to clock for it. And I don't think the televote's going to be fervent for it. But it does depend a little bit on the running order. But I think the teens, some people think like that's underestimating it, but I'm just like, there's like no buzz for Italy this year. Like none, none. Sarah's son, do you think they should incorporate Luan's daughter in the performance in some way? If I were her, I would. I would. But y'all don't understand. Josephina's a star. Okay. She's a star. All right. Y'all haven't really met her yet. Um, uh, okay, yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. Jeff, Portugal really grew for me. This was the other one I had a conversation with the Greek Eurovision Fund folks, and they asked me the question. I was like, maybe Portugal. I mean, I always liked the song in the lineup, but I am listening to it more now than what I was listening to in the beginning. Yeah. Um, so yeah. Gospodin said Italy might get 0 points this year, y'all. I don't think zero. I think the song is streaming too well, and everyone goes, "Oh, but that's just Italy." It's not just Italy. I think the song is doing too well streaming wise for it to get zero. I don't think it deserves 0 points this year. I think we got some other ones that are gonna make it to the end. Um, so yeah, Tony, I saw a video from the Greek delegation this morning, and they said some of the rules were changed. Though EBU, no clips are allowed to be taken and go online. Well, because that was like one thing that actually flared up. Everyone wants to like poke at fan media, but like there were some delegations that like leaked footage and stuff like that last year. I mean, like people tracked it, people tracked it that there were some delegations who, had filmed the screens and stuff like that. So I think the delegations are even having, like being told, hey, we want to level the playing field, do this and this and this. Um, so yeah. Leo S. But where do you think Germany will place Alicia? Sorry, I know we already talked. I've talked about this. I think already here. I think Germany should place top 10 if the vocal is proficient easily. It's one of the strongest songs that we have this year. Um. So yeah. Mystical. I just want Kai to have Sweden their eighth win just to end the argument that they should not win again. Oh, okay. You wanna tell the haters, bam. Okay, well, have fun with that. Have fun with that. Oh, what are we saying? I am Stevan. RTV always publishes clips. Yeah. And then, oh, Karina says, I do think Poland will flop. It can get too intense or too much for general viewers. Poland is exactly what we come to Eurovision for, though, right? Like, come on. Well, some of y'all are shy. Some of y'all are shy and you're not following the directions of sending the messages. Let me see. Yeah, I'm looking here. I'm dry on Blue Sky. Yep, and I'm dry on IG. So you missed your opportunity, but not to be outdone. It's ESC Dakota in the building. First of
How
all, how
are
are you doing?
you?
I am good. Living
It's so good
life.
to see you again.
Yes. Folks don't even know we have met in person.
Yes. We
Yes,
had
we have.
some bomb ass tacos,
Very,
right?
very good tacos.
And
Very
even
good.
better tequila.
Yes.
The tequila
Yes.
was correct. The food was okay, but the tequila was
The
correct.
drinks were all together. Okay, Gustav says everyone's too camera shy. So just saying. All right, but Dakota, I want to ask you something because you were firing away tweets
Not me.
yesterday,
Not me, not never.
firing away tweets, and I'm kind of like I might want to pull up because honestly, everyone over here like we're having great conversations and stuff, but here I want to talk about really because we talked about this before on my channel when we have Eurovision, because this is one thing I will say, and again, I mentioned this that I was like, I wish just as a fandom we could be more united and make Tirana happen because the thing about it is the song is winner worthy. So let's just get that out of the way. Like, we're not just
Absolutely.
saying it because it's Albania. Like, this is a winner worthy like
Hmm.
song. It is one of the studio cuts that stands out really well. And if the word on the street is right, we might be getting a stage show that is worthy as well. If we have Eurovision, the 70th in Sweden, and there has been even talk that people are like, we know it's going to be pricey for some folks.
Yeah.
Now, the last time we had the most participants was Stockholm in 2016. We have 43 countries competing. So I do want to throw that out there that maybe there is hope. Um, but yeah, what do you think about what's kind of going on with the lack of countries participating? And I think even some people looking at the tea leaves and going, what if we end up having kind of like an ex-Yugo free grand final and the implications of that?
Well, there's a really good chance that we can have no Caucasus. There's a really good chance that we could have no ex-Yugo countries. And yeah, I mean, aside from Estonia, I mean, we all know Lithuania and Latvia are on a knife's edge. We were hopeful, right? I'm actually much more confident in Latvia qualifying than I think most people are. If a lot of people, I think, haven't clocked the stats on fourth position, there's a reason that espresso macchiato is in fourth position. You don't want to be second or third, but first and fourth are real producer considerations because statistically those do very well. So I would say overall, there's a larger picture here that I think a lot of people are ignoring. I think that we don't want to get into anything political, but I do think there is a bigger divide happening between the West, the like traditionally classified West, and the rest of the world. We have something to do with that. We know that as Americans. And so that I think is that divide is getting sharpened in arenas like Eurovision, where you have this consistent drop off in Eastern countries. And I don't think that has there's a variety of factors there, obviously, because there are some Eastern countries who removed themselves got themselves removed, right? Obviously. But then there are other countries like across the Balkans who can't make it, can't justify it. I don't think that it's about whether or not they can afford it because they've afforded it for years. You can't afford it if you are using taxpayer money, right? Just to show up and not even qualify. Just to show up with your best and brightest stars, with quality entries, with things that are reflective of your culture, your language, your music, your current music scene, just to get paid dust and not even make it out of the semis. How do you continue justifying going and spending all of that money? It's not going to make sense to people. So, and a perfect example of that is Montenegro comes back just to get the death slot. That's wild. Poland sends one of their biggest stars, somebody who already did Eurovision and did well, death slot. So it's a thing where if the contest is focused on actually carrying out its stated purpose and it wants to unite by music and it wants to expand and it wants to have more countries, it has to welcome those countries. It has to make it a fair thing for those countries, and so, yeah, I mean, when you look at like the juries were brought back in 2009, this is what I think you were talking about with the tweet where I was saying
Yeah.
like, okay, so Eastern Europe dominates in the 2000s and then everybody is like, oh no, it's not fair, bring back the juries. Okay, they bring back the juries and now we've had 16 solid years where no one but Ukraine has won from Eastern Europe and Azerbaijan won real shady like in 2011. Great, right? And through that process you've lost over a dozen countries.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean? And
just I do think we can't, and I made a post like early. I just was like, when we had the announcements this year with the three in front of the participating countries, and I was like, we have to stop normalizing this. I really don't want us to normalize this. And interestingly, I'm gonna bring someone up. It is I am Stevan, and I mean,
I
obviously
hey,
you are from the region, and what's your thought process like? Do you feel like, I mean, because I think Serbia's in it. I think, Pazza has been good. This year was a little bit of a dip, folks said. But do you think that there is a world one, that, we won't have any like kind of ex-Yugo countries like making it to the final this year. Do you think
I
that's possible? Well, hold on. And then the second question is, um, what do you think the implication is if Eurovision kind of continues to be functioning in what folks would consider more of like the westernized, the Americanized. Some people say Americanized, and I'm like, you can leave us out of it. We don't participate.
We
You
didn't do
made these,
anything.
y'all made these choices, okay? Y'all made these choices. We're just spectating. But
Also,
yeah, what do you think,
99.9% of us don't know the contest exists. We didn't do
Yeah,
nothing. Leave us alone.
you have your rest of the world. Just stay there. So, can I go now? So, um, I do think it's a real possibility that ex-Yugoslavia just doesn't appear in the final this year. I do think actually that Serbia has the strongest chance of making it. Uh, Maybe sadly, question mark, because that's quite a low bar for ex-Yugoslavia. I think usually there is at least one song that's like talked about in the fandom as one of the fan favorites that maybe do qualify but then slip down scoreboard. Uh, I don't know what to say about countries withdrawing. I do think that sometimes the fandom is a bit delusional about countries that withdrew. That the EBU is expected to like bend over backwards for these countries that are not interested in participating. That they maybe participate and send like a mediocre song just to be there, what, as you said, wasting taxpayers' money. Um, or are just not politically interested in being closer to Europe and promoting that like European unity that sometimes is brought up at Eurovision. Like, for example, Turkey. I don't think they have any financial problems competing or whatsoever. I think that's specifically a political issue in Turkey. Um, so yeah.
Well, my other thing too, so Stefan, I just want you to, what's your sense on Serbia this year? Because I know we've talked in the comments, and I want you to give your sense on Serbia this year, because I mean, there's definitely some people saying, "Oh no, it can sneak in," and then the odds boosted up and said, Prince was going to make it. What do you think? And let's also remember, after the song was selected, it was the only song to get like negative points, like in the ESC scoreboard, like after the selection being made. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, shout out to Tom for collecting the data. Um, I do think it's like a 50-50. It depends on what the mood of Europe is, really. Um, Before the costume reveal that you talked about earlier, I was like, okay, it could sneak in. But now it seems that the story is kind of being lost with that look. It's more of like a modern feel, interpretive dance, whatever. And I don't think people are going to resonate with that combined with such
Yeah.
an outdated song. I mean, it is outdated. Come on. Such a classical Eurovision 2000 song. Let's rephrase it like that.
Yeah. And it
So
is. It is.
yeah, I'm less optimistic about its
Okay.
chances to qualify. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're going to put Serbia to bed. And thank you, I'm Stefan, for joining and checking your DMs.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And Dakota, I also wanted to reflect, before we close, because I did want to raise this as well. You had a couple of posts, and, this is something that I've spoken about. Um, and I think when people hear me say diversity, I think they think I'm only talking about race, even when I clearly state that I'm talking about in other ways.
Mhm.
Um, and I did note this early in the stream, but there has been a fever pitch of, I would say, misogyny and anti-blackness, like really this year, that has been so blatant. I mean, there was like some posts about, remember Monday, and the girl, like, oh, why they had to girly bop it up or something like that, and it was just like, who hurt you? Like, chill out. Like, it is not that deep. I would also say just the way people have been describing Erica's performance, and even Mariana. And then I just feel like the weird, like, why are we pretending like Claude's songs like not that like if you don't like the song like I'm not saying that it's inherently wrong. Like there are fair critiques of the song, but there was like a post that was like, "Oh, I just feel like this dancing is cringe," and it like was so very clearly like African like dance. I'm gonna let you have the last word on this because I've spoken about it, and I
Yeah.
did write a post at eurovisionfam.com. People can check it out at eurovisionfam.com. But yeah,
Yeah, I would say I think everybody needs to take a step back, take a breath, get recentered, and realize that the Euro fandom has gotten unbelievably toxic.
yeah.
And this is all on Twitter. This isn't anywhere else. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
yeah, well, it's creeping into some of the Facebook groups. I will say the Facebook groups are
right.
getting trickier than what they were. Facebook used to be a nice pocket. Blue Sky is great.
Yeah.
Instagram, fine. Even TikTok is not that wild.
No,
It is X. It is X.
it is. And I would say if we all understand the problem with Twitter and the loser who took it over and poisoned the well, I don't know that we need to be like mimicking that and bringing that into our community. That doesn't make a lot of sense. And so a lot of people are just posting like really outrageous stuff or like rage bait. And I'm like, baby, you didn't even pay for the piddly little blue check so you could make your 75 cents off this post. Like, what are we doing here? Why would we even bother? You know? So yeah, no, I got very upset about the whole thing with Claude and the dancing because, you know, somebody quoted that tweet and said, calling African dancing cringe is a wild choice, right? And of course, everybody wants to play dumb and go, oh, well, how was I supposed to know it's African dancing? So I posted and I was like, oh, not this coming from the same people who not 5 years ago were clowning on Jongu. Absolutely not, right?
Yeah, and the
So,
let's not forget the broccoli,
yeah,
broccoli. Like really, it's
this man is
like
up
are we
there.
five? Are we
This man,
five?
he is up there singing a unbelievably poignant song about liberating like liberation and freedom from colonialism and from slavery and autonomy and agency, and you're like, man, broccoli, really, girl? Like, come on, it's the low-hanging fruit. So I think that's the thing. Even there were even people who were playing the fool this year about Clement doing blackface and being like, well, I don't see why that's an issue. Or like, they don't know what blackface is there. I'm like, oh no, girl, we're not doing that. Not on this internet. Okay. Not on Beyonce's internet are we going to act like you don't know what any of this is. Okay. We are not writing letters in the medieval times. Okay. So yeah, I think the thing is that I've also seen a lot of like this real rise in like sex negativity. Like anybody who is being overtly sexual is suddenly like it's just like this horrible bad thing. And I'm like, baby, you would not have survived in the early 2000s with the VMAs. The way that y'all would have joined a convent and sworn off everything, absolutely not. Like it's totally normal and tame and fine. There's nothing wrong with anything that either of them are doing. They're just like, all you're telling me is you're not a girl's girl. And that's fine, noted. And I'll keep you where I need to keep you. But that, like, I just don't understand the people who are so desperate to be obnoxiously hateful for no possible reason. For so many of us, Eurovision has been this constant source of joy and expansion, expanding our diversifying our horizons and our understanding of different countries and languages and music and experiences and cultures. And I don't really understand why you're coming to something like Eurovision if all you're going to do is bring toxicity. You have football right there. Like, if you want to see a bunch of countries compete in something and be nasty about it, go be a hooligan, baby. But don't bring it over here to the glitter song and dance competition, because we will whoop your ass the way that the hooligans don't. You understand what I'm saying? We're here to have a good time, and you're not going to be here for a long time if you can't get on board. That's pretty simple, So
Amen.
it's why a lot of people have
Amen.
left. It's why a lot of
No.
people have left Twitter and all of that. And I had joined
Yes.
Blue Sky. That's why I didn't see her message. I felt so bad. I was like, wait, she sent me a message? Where? And then I saw a notification from old dusted Blue Sky coming back up like, remember
Come
me?
on. Yes. But y'all, I hope y'all receive this word on this Good Friday as we lead into the Eurovision rehearsals. As always, please like this video. Please do subscribe. You can check out my piece and everything that I write at EurovisionFam.com. Thank you so much for joining the stream. Thank you to my guests. I'm Stevan. Thank you, ESC Dakota. Check them out, found everywhere. And, we have to get ready for Eurovision 2025. Thank you for joining.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Bye, y'all.